We are back with another week of the live placement beat critique and song critique. We're live back with another Friday, listening to your beats, giving you live TV placement beat critique from your personal music supervisor, XcaliberZero. Hopefully the audio works. So what I'm about to do, as we always do at the beginning of the stream, is make sure that the link is working, that the YouTube link is working, that we're able to hear sound, and we have all audio levels ready before we get started. We have a lot of submissions this week already, and I'm hyped to see that people are joining on Fridays on the Discord and already submitting before the stream even starts. Like I said last week, I remember when this live stream, I was going live and I would only have like 4 or 5 submissions. So shout out to the homies who've been sticking with me, and shout out to all the new homies who have been joining us. Greatly appreciated. It's a dope little community that we're bringing in here. And let's make sure the stream is working. All right, let's peep. All right, dope. We got the stream working. Let's make sure the audio is working. What's up, Keswick? All right, dope. We got everything good. What's good, Brizzy? Shout out to the homie Brizzy. Last week he got his first placement on Love and Hip Hop, and then this week he just turned in on, I think, 3 tracks yesterday or 4 tracks, right, Brizzy, for a library. So shout out to Brizzy making moves, already taking the advice and putting it into effect. I love seeing that. I love seeing people actually listening, coming in, tuning into the stream, listening, and putting the work into effect, taking action instead of just overloading yourself on information. You're sitting there, you're taking actionable steps, applicable steps to getting your first placement on TV, and many more placements to come. And it's not just about that one placement. That one placement is not going to change your life, but it will get the ball rolling. Unless you get a crazy placement like an advertisement, that might change your life. That might change your life. Or a movie, like a big movie, that'll change your life. So maybe I lied. All right, first up we got SK, because I think last week we ended off Keswick's. Keswick was the last one. So this one we got SK already submitted. Less people he has. Make sure the comments are up on my... Let's go. Damn. 20-track album. It's Friday. It's Friday.
That's wavy, sir.
It's Friday.
SK, you're a vibe.
Oh. Dope. All right, SK, this is a dope track. I'm only going to be playing a minute to a minute and a half, and for songs, I'll play 2 minutes. But for beats, I'll play about a minute and a half. That way we can get through all the submissions today. I know I started a little bit late today, so sorry about that. But first up with SK, love the track, love the vibe of the track. Has a good energy to it, has a good feel-good music type of vibe to it. So I really like the instruments that you use. I think in the B section, the verse section. The B section, if you hear me say B section, you can think of it as the verse section of your beat. But in TV, I just like to call it the B part. The B section is a little repetitive. So that horn that you have is dope, but I think I would take it out to let the track breathe a little bit, have some space for dialogue and stuff. Just let the beat right here with this, without the horn. And maybe take out the tambourines too, just because tambourines add a little bit more energy to a track. So if you have a B section, you want it to be a little bit more stripped down, a little bit more lighter. So... like right here, I would just take out the horns. But that's just for submitting for TV. This looks like it's a tight beat, so maybe that's why you did it that way. That's the only note I have for this one. Everything else sounds clean. Like the drums that you use, that snare is really crispy and really clean. What's good, Tall Genius? What's good, everybody? All right, next up we got the homie Chucho, aka the person who likes to take my voice and turn it into a tag. Is it Chucho? Hey, hey, oh, 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 oh. Is he saying the letter E? I like to buy a vowel. All right, Chucho, same thing with this one. I think this one is kind of similar to the notes for the last one, that it just gets a little bit too repetitive. So I would just take out that piano and let the guitar just ride a little bit with just the 808, the clap, and your snare rolls should be fine too as well. Just to give it a little bit more room for dialogue for TV. And take out that E, like background vocal chant too. Everything else though is fire. I like this track a lot. The 808s are clean. Beat hits hard. Killing it as usual. Keep it up. Next up we got the homie produced by Franco. This one's called an All Energy Boost. Let's peep it. Pretty sad party like a raw star. True. All right, for this one, I think a little bit same similar notes that we're already getting so far. This one's a little bit repetitive. Now the B section, you do switch up the guitar, but I like what you do at the beginning of the second 8 bars of this verse. Like you have the guitar come in and then you drop it out real quick. And I think you could do more variations with the guitar in this track. That way it's not so repetitive, because it sounds like it might be a loop or something like that. And you want to add little breakthroughs or like breakouts and stuff like that. You want to take away or just add a little bit of more variation to the track. That way it's not as repetitive. The guitar also could be brought down a little bit because it is taking away from the energy from your 808. I feel like your 808 would hit a little bit harder if that guitar was brought back. Since it's a lead instrument, it has a lot of dynamic to it. You don't need it to be too loud in the mix. It's still going to be heard. It's your lead instrument. So, and then maybe add like some simple chords in the background to layer on top of that guitar. Just very simple chords that don't clash with the guitar that you have there. It could be something that's like a string or something. Just something very subtle. That way you're just adding more variation to the track, and it's not getting as repetitive, and it feels like there's more to it. I like the idea though. I like the guitar a lot. The guitar sound is really clean, and the drums are pretty simple, but they still are effective. So I think this is a dope track. Just add a little bit more to it, and then make it so it's not as repetitive with the guitar. Next up, we got the homie Gravity Turtle coming back with another one this week. MGK pop punk type beat. Chicana. I think for this one, Chikara, this is a dope track. This would be used in two different, or a couple different areas. Brizzy said Disney Channel beat, and the reason why I think he said Disney Channel beat is because it has a family-oriented style. So I don't think that it's necessarily meant for just Disney, but it definitely has a family vibe, which is going to get you a lot of traction. Like a lot of different shows are this style, and this track has like two feelings to it. It almost feels like it's a scene opener, which opens the scene, and also a scene closer, which would be the end of the scene, or like the end of the show. At the end of the show, when they're closing out the show and everything's becoming rejoiceful again, or like everything feels like it's coming to a happy ending. This is the type of track that would be played. So that's good because you're giving yourself more opportunities to be placed by having both of those feelings there. I think for this, everything's dope, but this verse section, you know how you have that lead guitar, and you have like those chugs, like the chug guitar in the back, like do 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 in the background. I think that if you take out that lead guitar in the verse section right here, and just leave that chug guitar in the background with this part, that you'll give yourself a lot more opportunity to get a longer placement. This track I feel like will get placed easily. I think that you'll get a longer placement because of that lead is being taken out and you're leaving more opportunity for dialogue. So they can just use that track for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Like that's a really long placement, and that's going to get you a lot more money when you have a longer placement. So I think this is a dope track. I definitely, like I told you before, you need to make an album of these type of tracks and submit them in because these get placed a lot. Like I said, they're a scene closer, scene opener type of vibe. So keep killing it with that. It is a dope track. I like the MGK pop punk vibes that you got going on. So keep it up, bro. And you also got another one here. This is a side acoustic guitar type pop beat. I don't know why my accent changed in the middle of that, but all right. This too, man. This will get placed as well. Clean guitars right here. This is clean, bro. Really wide guitars. Simple, it's acoustic. Has a nice melody to it. And you can hear it probably, I don't know how loud the music is compared to my voice, but you can probably hear my voice really well because there's a lot of room here. This guitar has a nice rhythm to it and nice open melodies to it. So that leaves a lot of room for dialogue and a lot of room for like a sad, melodic type of, emotional scene. So that track will get placed a lot too as well. And they do ask for acoustic type of tracks, especially on like shows like on TLC and stuff like that. They have a lot of tracks that sound like this because it's just emotional and it's heartfelt. So this is another great example of a track that would get placed, I feel like. And I like the way that you structure the beat or the track as well. And the fact that you don't have drums is perfectly fine. I think that this is the type of track that doesn't really necessarily need drums and fits the context of emotional or, sad type of vibes perfectly. So dope track there. I think that would also get placed. What was I going to say also to this? Oh, if you can, get a vocalist that sings on this too as well and start pitching these too as well. Like I don't know, are you a guitarist yourself, Chikar? Like, are you making all these guitar tracks yourself with your own guitar? I think I asked you this before. But yeah, this is really good. Next up, we got the homie Focal Point Pro. Shikara, you said you do make your own guitar samples. That's really dope, and that makes you an asset, a huge asset for a library, because whenever they need, like, this is what happened in the library I worked for. We would have a circle of composers that had different strengths, right? So we would have composers that were really good with vocals. We would have composers that were really good with guitars. We would have good composers who are really good with hip hop, composers who are really good at pop, or like hybrid producers who would be able to do both. EDM, just different stuff like that, right? So, or orchestral, all the, like a circle, right? A pod. And I think other libraries do the same thing. If you go to these websites, you can see they kind of have different composers who are constantly making albums in that same style. So you'll see a person make rock style tracks, but they'll make like cinematic type rock. They'll make emotional type rock. They'll make happy type rock, like all these different vibes, right? So you, Chikara, would give yourself an opportunity to become that asset in a library. And you said you already composed together an album of 10 tracks. What I would do right now is make sure those tracks have stings on them. Make sure they're about 1.5 to 2 minutes long. 2 minutes is good, with a sting at the end of the track. And then I would start looking for libraries. You can find them in the sync licensing section on the Discord, and I would start submitting your tracks. Introduce yourself to these libraries, make a connection with them, and then start introducing your tracks, and tell them that you play your own guitar. Tell them that you make different types of guitar tracks, and tell them the styles that you make. And you're going to give yourself a good opportunity to start placing, and tell them that you already have an album ready. That way they're like, oh, okay, perfect. We can already ingest these 10 tracks into our system and get these out to our different shows who are needing these type of tracks, and start getting you placed. And that's going to really help you elevate yourself and get yourself placed faster. So those are the steps that I would take. The homie Heats in the Discord, or the YouTube stream, I appreciate you coming through. AKA Sound Design. If you guys haven't checked his content out, this dude's a beast, man. Like, just look at his YouTube videos, bro. They're crazy. Says finally able to catch a stream. What's the EDM you hear in your story? I had to make an album for Project One Way. Well, not an album. I'm making tracks for Project Runway right now. So they're asking for like a lot of EDM stuff, like that runway model type of stuff. And I don't usually make EDM. But when I do, I like to make like those type of styles. I listen to progressive house, like I listen to the homie Deadmau5 and stuff like that growing up. So that's where that album came from. But that's as far as my EDM like style goes. I cannot make these crazy like huge cinematic EDM tracks they're making now. What's good, Xcalo? Next up, we got we got to go over focal points notes. All right, so the section that you switch it up, focal. I think this is too different from the vibe of the track at the beginning. Like, if you're gonna switch it up, that's fine, but it has to stay very similar to the style, right? Because it almost feels like a scene opener style when you first open up this track. But the section where you switch it up has to stay in context. If you want to listen to a good example of that, Brizzy does a good job of like having a section where it switches up, but it still feels like it will fit in the context of the track. So if it's like a drama track, it will switch up to a drama like style still, but it'll be like a little bit more like sparse or laid back or something. That's a good example of the switch up. Nice intro here, by the way. I like that you kept it short. And here, I think that there's a lot going on at first. Like, there's like one element that makes it too busy a little bit, but I think there's a lot going on at the beginning of this track. And some of these elements you can include at the end of the track. So, like the way that the hi-hats are going fast, you can keep it with just a two-step instead of just having like I think it's maybe 30-second notes, or maybe. Oh, yeah, it has rolls. So I would lay back on the hi-hats a little bit. I would switch up that string. Oh, that's what it is. It's the string that makes it busy. Because you have a string going on, then you have like this ethnic string that's in the background that's kind of layered with it. And on top of guitars that you already have, which is another string element. So I just feel like this is a little bit busy at the beginning. You could take back like one or two elements, and then fix that B section where it switches up. And I think this would be a good track. I like the vibe of it. I like the guitar, and then the bass synth that you have almost gives it like a club feel. But I feel like this would be a good transition or B-roll style track. So just strip back the track a little bit. Just take out a couple, maybe like one or two elements, and then that B section, kind of get it back onto the same course that you already have with the track. You can either go more club with it, and not as like crazy with the synth. You need room for dialogue here, so I wouldn't even use that synth. I would just keep it more simple here. And you could even just keep that bass synth with your drums here. That would be perfectly fine as well. But I think that just making sure that that switch up doesn't go too far off from the main type of style that you have, and then adding a couple elements or stripping down a couple elements in the beginning. That way it's not as busy, because it was hard for me to catch what was going on at the beginning of the track. Next up, we got the homie Chucho back with another one. Oh, okay. Is it Chucho? Is it Chucho? Yo, Chucho, that little string, that pizzicato pluck that you put at the beginning, you should add more of it. Right there, that little hit, you should add more variation to it to layer on top of that guitar. Because the guitar is, the loop is like carrying the beat. And adding that little lead, or like pizzicato, just very sparse, nothing too crazy, will help it a lot to get it placed. I feel like this type of track will get placed. The rhythm is dope. I think it's in 6/8, which is really fire. I love beats that are in 6/8 because it just has a different bounce to it. And then the 808s, I mean, they kind of are busy, but like you have like a flam going on with your 808 and stuff like that. I think that's cool. I think it'll work. Usually I would say that's too busy, but I think that this would work. I would submit this for a placement though. I would definitely submit it. The bounce is there. That loop is fire. It's crazy. Next up, we got the homie Quad X with the Travis Scott type beat. I think he submitted this beat before, right? Let me see. Siren, I recognize that track. I think he might have submitted it as just a regular Discord track. Nope, I don't think he did. All right, we're good. No, he put it in the regular chat, I think, the general chat. But it was like a snippet of it. All right, we got the homie Quad X.
Quad X.
He said we heard this last week. Did we? I feel like he put it in the general chat. You probably heard it. Him put it in the general chat. The general chat when it was a rough mix. I'm pretty sure because I feel like he switched it up a little bit. But this is clean. I like this one. Out of all the Travis Scott's beats you submitted so far, I think this is my favorite one. I really like the hesitation that you put on the beat. Yeah, I like the hesitations that you put in this one. This is probably my favorite one that you submitted. I don't think this would work for TV necessarily because the sounds are like more abrasive, but it's still a dope track, and I think that you've been turning in these Travis Scott type beats pretty frequently, and I think they're dope. Like your bass sense, you're starting to understand a lot more context with it too as well. Next up, we got the homie Alan T back. He's back submitting in the Discord. I know last week Alan sent me his tracks on the side, asking for advice on some of the tracks that he submitted through email. So I'm excited to hear what he has addressed through those notes and then came back with. Mm. This is fire. Bro, I got fire emojis to this one. Definitely has that feel a little bit to 0 to 100 a little bit. But this is a dope track, Alan. You came back with the heat with this one. Really like this one. I would add a sting to it and then double down. Add a sting to this at the end of it. It's like a little hit to the end of the track. Double down on this sound. Submit to a library with like 10 tracks in this style right here, and you'll start seeing some traction, bro. This is a good underscore type of track. This would be like a dialogue type of feel. Very minimal, or it could be used as montage. There's not too many distracting sounds going on. It's like very complimentary for like vocals or dialogue, and it's crazy. You said, the homie It's Bubba said, are you reviewing beats and songs or just beats, man? It's both. So if you want to submit a song or beats, feel free to submit it through. I'm mostly giving TV placement critique advice, so letting you know why your track would or would not work for TV placements. But I also we'll just listen to your track. If you just got a track you submitted for an artist or something like that, or if you have like a tight beat, feel free to send it through as well. We're out here just trying to uplift the community together, so let's get it. The homie Brizzy came back with another track this week. This one says drums inspired by Space Boy. I said this early in the stream, but the homie Brizzy made an album, and he's making an album of 20 tracks right now. I think he said he was like 3 short, and he's about to be submitting to the library that he signed with. So shout out to the homie. What up, John the Dreamer? Me and the homie John about to start doing a drill album together, submitting it for TV placements. But excited to hear this one. This one is inspired by Space Boy. Space Boy's been turning in heat, so I'm excited to hear this. Brizzy. Damn, Brizzy, okay. You see that switch up right there, Focal? I don't know if Marlon's in the chat, but that switch up right there is exactly what I'm talking about. He switched the whole beat up, and then he brought it back together, and it tied together. That's like a perfect example of that. Brizzy, that track is your best one that you've submitted yet, as far as not having too many different things going on. You have really good transitions. That 808 transition is ridiculous. Really dope track. I like the minimal like pluck that you have in the beginning, and then letting the 808s kind of direct the track. because I was like waiting for a switch up, but then you added the 808 switch up, and that was perfect. And then the synth that you added to add like more of a dramatic feel to it is perfect. The tubular bells are nice. I think this is a really good drama and tension type of track. Would work well for a drama scene. This one says running from Bugs Bunny. That's funny. That's dope. I like that track a lot, Brizzy. Nice elements, nothing too crazy there. You're starting to understand how many elements you add to your track. That's a really good one. Next up, we got Alan T with another one. This is called The Circus is Coming to Town. All right, for this one, Alan, I think adding one more element to this and having the hi-hat to drive a little bit more will add a good context, like a good track to this. This will fit in a certain specific type of context, so like a comedic or dramedy type of vibe for a specific type of show. So I think this will work well for like Real Housewives of New Orleans because it has that style with the horns. The horns make it more specific to a region, right? So like it would have to fit a certain context of a show. Right, so I would feel like this would fit well for like a Real Housewives of New Orleans type of vibe, and because of the brass stuff like that. But I just want to add. I want you to add a little bit more to it, so you can add like pizzicatos on top of that, driving hi hat, or maybe just like a tambourine loop. And those are like a couple of different things that you can add to this to give it a little bit more and help your chances of increasing to get this place as well. Everything else is there. I think the drums are cool. Like the little pauses and stuff you have in the track, which is really good for spacing and stuff like that. So that's the things I would add to that track. So far, you're getting a consistent vibe, and I like that you're submitting. You understood, because I think the first time you just submitted like stuff with just sound effects on it, and now I'm hearing that you're starting to understand, okay, this is my sound. How can I convert this into TV placement? So I'm glad to see you out there putting in the work, Alan. Good stuff. Next up, we got the homie Keswick. What's up, Cam Lack? John said comedy placement. Yeah, that would be a comedic placement. Exactly. That would be like comedy or dramedy type of track. That's more comedic, so more comedy than dramedy because there's no drama there really. It's just like a light underscore type of comedic track, which is really good. Like that's good. Comedy will get you paid. Comedy mind, like I'm not going to be sitting on here uploading my comedy beats to flex, but I'm telling you right now, comedy beats are the most type of tracks I get placed. Comedy and underscore. Next up, we got the homie Keswick. This is called Euphoria. I think the reason why this is probably called Euphoria is because Keswick's been turning in these tracks that have this nice scripted series type of vibe that would fit for Euphoria. His sound, he's never submitted for TV placement, but his sounds fit really well for like those high quality, high produced like TV type of shows like Euphoria and stuff like that. So I'm excited to hear this one. John, you get in the ear, bro. I hear you. I see you, boy. I appreciate that. Shout out.
Keswick.
Keswick, this is fire, bro. This is a really good suspense, like tension type of track. I can hear this in like those ESPN 30 for 30 documentaries, right? So when they're like saying like a really suspenseful part where like things are going down, I think this track will fit perfect for it. I think something that you could add, just one thing that you can add to this that would add and bring it out a little bit more and keep it more cinematic is adding a string, like a very high quality, nice string on it on top of the sounds that you have. So something simple like floods, like something simple like that, right? That just adds a little bit more dynamic to it. Everything else is clean. I really like this track. I feel like it would fit in a whole different style, like versions of sounds. This is more suspenseful, so I don't know if it would fit for Euphoria. Euphoria does have like a suspense feel to it, but this would have to be like a high drama scene for like this type of track. So it could fit there, but this has like a nice suspenseful feel to it, really cinematic, nice drones you got going on. I like the arps that are in the background, really clean. The drums are dope. Everything's fire about that one. I really like that one. A song with no curse words would be accurate for TV placements, right? Yes. That definitely is the case for TV because, you know, they're going to get fined by the FCC if they don't. You can have simple words, like I think you can have damn and stuff like that in it, but you can't have like just other words like that. Now, there's been times where people have slipped and have sent tracks out that had curse words on it and they did get placed. So just be careful with that, but I would recommend not submitting because as soon as they find a curse word in it, they're flagging that track. They don't want that track. They want something different because curse words are just a headache for people who are trying to submit for TV, like trying to place your tracks, like music supervisors and stuff. So make sure that you don't have curse words in your tracks. This is like the Matrix 4 movie. That's funny. All right, next up we got Upper Column back with another track, aka the Video Game Specialist. I still owe you that list, by the way. Upper Column. All right. This is a dope one. I like this a lot. I like the vocal chops that you did with this. I don't know, is your sample cleared? Because if so, you can submit it for TV placements. If it's like a loop that you just cut up, that's fine. But if it's a sample, just make sure it's cleared. That's a dope one. I think that what was I about to say at this section? I think this would fit for a video game or for like a scene opener in TV. If you send it for a scene opener, like if you're sending this for TV placements, I would include a stem. This helps you get placed more to a lot. A stem that's a faster version, so a stem that's like an increase, like you can increase the BPM by like 5 or something. You don't want to go too crazy, like 5 to 7 the max, and put a faster version. Like your stem would say, you know, beat 141, or give me something more sped up version. That will help your chances of getting placed, because I feel like if it's a scene opener, it's going to need to be a little bit faster, but the tempo of it's fine right now. I just think that will help you increase your chances of getting placed. And then the vocal chops are dope. The drum beats dope. I don't think you switch up too much with the drums, but the drums, the way you have them, like the switch ups and stuff like that, are are fine enough. So I think it's a dope track that would work in a couple different contexts, like scene openers for sure, where they're showing montages of different city landscapes, like I've talked about before. That's a good way to do it. Next up, we got the homie Tall Genius. What's up, Brizzy? Back again. Yo, dang, I'm late. I got tied up. Yeah, Marlon, focal point. I went through yours. I think what I said about yours is about taking out one of those strings at the beginning of the track, and then that B section that you have in yours, focal, where it was a little bit, it switched off the track a little bit. It was a little bit different than what the regular, like the rest of the track sounded like. So I think I recommended taking out the synth, keeping that club bass that you have in the background, and using that as your B section. But you can go back on the stream too as well. I'll have the stream up and listen to the notes. But yeah, those are the notes that I gave, like really quickly, a quick version of the notes I gave. Next up, we got the homie Tall Genius. Island vibes. What's up, Blink Beats? Hey. Okay. Hey. Okay. Hey. 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 That's dope. I like those vocals in the background. All right, Tall Genius, that's dope. Only thing I want is that bass to come in sooner. I want to introduce in that first part of the hook, and I want you to add this plugin called Camel Crusher. It's for free. If you use PC, it's going to be very easy to get it. If you use Mac, I don't know how to install it on Mac. And then use this preset on there called Subtle Master. It's going to bring up that bass. It's going to like put a good saturation on your lower frequencies to bring out that bass a little bit more, because that bass is dope, the melody, but I want it to be brought out more in the mix, and I think that will help with it, because this is a whole vibe. I think this is a really nice island vibe that you have. Those chords have like that 90s like feel with, like, you know how like LL Cool J had like a Roundaway Girl, or like Tupac I Get Around, like those chord progressions. That's this type of vibe it has, and I think that it would really work well for an island type of vibe, obviously for like a TV show like Below Deck Mediterranean or Below Deck, or it would fit for an underscore. Like this would be really good for an underscore that's going on when, like, let's say like you have a TV show going on for reality TV, and there's a person out there who's shopping for clothes and they're trying on different clothes, right? This would be a good type of track to be playing under that type of scene. So I think that adding that bass will just bring it up a little bit. We'll just bring out the quality of the track. I mean, everything else is fine. The structure you have of it is dope. The melodies are really dope. The rhythm is super fire. So really solid track right there, Tall Genius. Killed it. British Clean. Oh yeah, Bro TV with the Super Gym. Yeah, British Clean's a good one, but that's gonna add more saturation to it. I think the Subtle Master brings out more sub frequencies, but the British Clean is a really good one too for 808s. Like 808s that don't have attack. Like if you want that 808 that has like that feel to it where it sounds like has a lot of attack, but there's no kick layer on top of it. That British Clean preset is really clean for that. I've seen that on TikTok. Yeah, Camel Crusher. It's a really dope plugin. I use it a lot. Even on my regular bass, like if it's just like a regular guitar bass or something, I'll put that on there as well, because that's a really good saturation to it. All right, next up, we got the homie old Lexus back with another one. John the Dreamer says, sounds like an underbed for a Will Smith vlog. An underbed is an underscore, or like a bed is another name for it. That's really good. That's a good ear, John. For like, it's like the back beats that you hear in the track, like perfectly explained right there. Like in a Will Smith video or a vlog and you see him talking or stuff like that, that would be the track that's playing in the background. That's a really good point right there. I'm telling you, those type of tracks, underscore beds, you'll hear them as like underscore beds, like or tasking cues. Those type of tracks get placed a lot, man. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, next up we got Homie Alexa. That's Slayer. All right, Alexis. I don't think this one will get placed on TV. This one is the sounds are too abrasive. I think you use Slayer on this one too. Again, maybe it's a Star-Lord type of beat. So maybe that's the vibe that they have. But I don't think this one will necessarily work because it's just too abrasive. There's too many distracting sounds going on. That's the notes I have on that one. Blink Beat said, "Does every track for TV have to have a sting on it?" I'm saying, like, would I have to get denied, or does it vary per company or placement? I would say yes. I think it's pretty mandatory that you need a sting on every track. I've seen tracks. So one of my jobs when I was working for the music library that I worked for, and Bubba, you said, how do you submit tracks? You can submit it through the Discord in the Discord. It was just in the description. But one of the jobs that I had was sitting in editor bays, like the bays where they're editing the TV show, and listen to and pick out the music that they need for the scenes. Like they wouldn't know what track to put in a certain scene or something, or maybe they had needed advice, or maybe they just wanted a second opinion. And I've seen editors take out tracks because the sting didn't work, because the sting just sounded so bad with the track, or I've seen them cut stings off another track and just use that track instead, and replace that track just because the sting was better, and that's gonna hurt your chances of getting placed. So I would say yes, it's mandatory because they need that sting to end the scene. Like if a scene's going on, they have your track playing in the background. When that scene ends, they need a sting to kind of end off that scene and then start the next one. So I would say yes, it's mandatory. It's Bubba said, I messaged you a link on Discord. I think I see it right here. I'm gonna get through these ones here and then I'll put it on there. For this one, Lexus, yeah, like I said, I think this one a little bit too abrasive. Xcelo said that would fit for TV or video games. Yeah, that probably would fit for video games type of vibe actually. Yeah, they slice stings for other. I've seen them slice stings from another track, which will hurt you, man. Like, just get the sting right. It's so simple to put a sting on. It's just a hit. It's just like the root note of your track, the root note of your melody. I bet you XLO has a pretty good sting here. Let's play XeLO's track. Said almost done with the next album. Here is one for the stream. Nice. that was a sting at the end of it. You heard his little hit at the end? That's a sting right there. That's a perfect example of a sting. This track structure is crazy good. XcLo, like really dope structure right here. You have a nice A section, nice intro, very short. Perfect example. Somebody in the chat said soft drill. This is an R&B drill. I can see it as R&B, but I also see it like as a drama drill. Those strings were crazy nice, high quality strings that you had there. I seen this as like a light drama or an _2, but it would be more like light drama type of vibe. That track is fire. That track would get placed a lot. And XcLo already made an album of 10 tracks that same vibe and has already submitted to a library. So take notes from him. I think I said in the stream one time to make a dramedy and drill album because I have not heard it done, and I guarantee that it would get placed. And this dude immediately pretty much did it. He listened to one of the YouTube videos, he figured out the structure of it, and then he started making an album of it. Had 10 tracks ready. I was about to get him placed with another library, but he got another opportunity, which is great. And now he's out here, making a lane for himself. So keep killing it. All right. Donla said, sent you something, bro. How often do you do this? I do this every week, every Friday. It used to be Thursdays, but we switched to Fridays because Friday's a different vibe. Friday's a good vibe. All right. Next up, we got Alexis again with another one. This is called Requiem for a Funk.
I don't know.
This has more of a drama feel to it. This is a lot better than the last one. I feel like as far as getting it, like the probability of it getting placed, I think you could add something like one different instrument to give it more context or more variety, and then the balance of your 808 and your kick are way different than your snare. Your snare is all the way tucked in compared to the 808 and kick, and it's like you want that 808 kick and that snare to hit in front all together almost at the same level. Not super close to the same level, but almost the same level as far as the dynamics, as far as how loud it is. So I think that your snare is really hidden in the mix because that kick and 808 hit so hard, which makes it a little bit more muddy. So I would just do a cleanup on the mix, bring that snare out and bring those kick and 808s back just a little bit. That way it's like hitting evenly almost on the dB meter, and you're hearing it almost at the same range as far as volume. So those are a couple notes that I would give to that one. The 808 though was hard. I think you just need to be turned down a lot. All right, we got Tall Genius back with another one. This is called Showdown.
Good job, Tall Genius.
Got you, John. Let me know if that's better. All right, Tall Genius. Only notes I have on this one is a string. I would switch out the string with something that has a little bit more attack, because I hear the string there, but it sounds like very thin, like it just sounds too thin. I think the string needs to have a little bit more attack on it, so you can switch that out with a different one, or just layer it with the string that has more attack. And then the 808s I would bring back in your B section, that verse section that you have going there. I would cut back on the 808s a little bit, just give it more room for dialogue. Everything else sounds dope. The track is hard. Nice intro, the way you kept it quick. The structure is good. Let me just hear Sting. Oh yeah, add a sting to that. Your sting would hit right there at 12 seconds. It can just be a hit right there with the root note. I'm gonna go to It's Bubba because he sent one on a personal, and then we'll go back to the Discord. But in the future, Bubba, you can just send it through the Discord community. You just put it in the share your music section. The homie Bubba said it's like a boxing series, like something in a boxing series. I can hear that. We got Bubba here.
Nothing was ever perfect, but nothing was ever for certain. Can you tell me that you worth it? All the pain, I know you never deserved it. Oh no, no. Oh no, no. Oh no, no. Oh no, no. Nothing was ever perfect, but nothing was ever for certain. Can you tell me that you worth it? All the pain, I know you never deserved it. Oh no, no. Oh no, no. Oh no, no. Oh no, no. Nothing was ever perfect, but nothing was ever for certain. Baby girl, no need to be nervous. I know I ain't perfect, I'm learning. Stuck in the cold where my heart will stay frozen. I'll give you my heart cause I know yours is broken. I'll give you my heart cause I know yours is broken. You got me so I got you if it's worth it. I know that I ain't perfect but I'm learning. Never leave you home, don't gotta worry. I just pray you never hurt me. Cause baby I promise I'll never hurt you. You say you got my back but I don't got no one to turn to. You say you got my back but I don't got no one to turn to. I just want your love, I don't fuck with these hoes. Won't let nothing hurt you, so I'm holding you close.
All right, Bubba, there's two notes I have on this one. I think that your voice is dope. You have a good melody, like a good sound, a good melody on this track. I think that the auto-tune, I mean, this is just personal taste. The auto-tune could be cut back a little bit because it's kind of hard to hear what you're saying at the beginning. Like, it took me a little while to understand what you're saying at the very beginning. And I understand that's the style that you were putting, like the style. But that's just a personal note there. Also, the intro is too long. This is like 30 seconds of you saying the same thing. I will cut that in half, at least for TV placements, because it has a dope intro. I like the way you're just like kind of vibing here in the beginning, but then once it hits like 25 seconds and the beat's already in, you're still doing it. I would cut that back. I would either like just give a preview of what the chorus is gonna sound like, but like just like saying a few words of it, or just adding more variation to it. And then the last note that I would have is that you have that like ad lib in the background. I would turn it down because it's clashing too as well with what you're saying, and it's a dope melody, but I would just bring it down a little bit or sing it in a lower octave. So sing it lower, and that will give you a little bit more room with it. But that's the two notes that I would have with it. I just want to hear it enunciated a little bit more, and that will help you increase your chances of getting placed because you have the sound, you have the volume, like you have the sound and the melody for placement, like a placement for TV, in my opinion. And the beat is fire. Like you picked a good beat. I don't know if you made that beat or if you picked that beat, but the beat's fire, so the beat fits out well. But those are the two notes I would have for that. Hopefully that helps out. Track's dope though. You got the sound for sure. Next up, we got the homie Opera Column. Let me go down a little bit. This one's called Blue and Green. I got you next, Camlack. Opera Color, man, I'm telling you, bro, we need to hear your tracks in video games. Like, you have the perfect sound for it. Your tracks tell a story, I feel like. Like, the way they switch up, your chops have, like, different variations. Those drums are thick. Them drums are thick, boy. Pause. But those drums are fire, bro. Oh, a commercial too, XcL says? Yeah, I can hear that for sure. That has a dope vibe. So, you know what? That would fit in a commercial. That's a good ear. That does have a advertisement commercial type of vibe. Next up, we got the homie Cam Lack back with another beat. Mr. Cruz, what's up, brother? Welcome to the stream, man. Shout out to the homie Mr. Cruz. Shout out to Comlock. Come like that. That open hat's a little bit too loud, but I'm still vibing to this right now. This has like a weekend vibe to it, almost like that 80s retro vibe to it. Samsung Galaxy No commercial, I can hear that. This has a good vibe to it, like this sounds really different. Like it almost has like the 80s vibe, but the drums make it almost like its own unique style to it. The couple things with this, just that open hat's a little bit too loud, and I would add a variation here, something like that little lead that you had right there at 58. I think that you could almost go with the whole melody with a sound that sounds like similar to that, like a Juno synth sound or something like that has a good amount of reverb in the background. Just another melody that's adding variation to this track, because it gets a little bit repetitive at this point of the track. So adding another melody right there, like a lead melody, will really, I think, amplify it. But I feel like this will work, like they said, in a commercial that's more about like technology and stuff like that, or something that has like even a TV show if they're talking about technology, or even an ad, or those type of vibes. A video game too as well. I can hear that in the video game. The homie Mr. Cruz said, "What's poppin', man? I don't always get to catch these, but when you do, when you go live, but I'm actually working at the moment." Wink, wink. I was cracking up at that when I was listening to the track. I saw that. Yeah, there's definitely potential with that one too. And Comlex, I think he's only like 16 or 17 years old, man. That boy's gonna be serious for sure. Black Mirror, I can hear that too as well. It's like the cyberpunk retro edition commercial type beat. Next up, we got the homie Botree. This is weird as fuck. Track is fire. Dog, this track is fire, bro. That synth in the background with this 808 is clean, and that piano just adds like this whole different vibe to it. Really, John said lush chords. Yeah, everybody talking about the piano in the chat. I agree. That piano is so clean. This is a hard track, Botree. Yeah, that was it. He said this. Upper Column said that's an interesting blend. I agree. It just had like a whole different vibe to it. That's dope. I can hear that. Like that has like almost like that advertisement feel too as well. Or this would be good for like a scripted series too as well. That track is hard, bro. All right, next up we got the homie John the Dreamer. John the Dreamer. Wasn't made for TV, but where would this fit? Interesting. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Next up we got the Scoop.
John the Dreamer.
Some of you guys could not hear this on Ball is Life, right? You just hear the Ball is Life, little intro, and then this beat just drops. San Andreas vibes, I can hear that. Bro, what is that said? Is that OP1? What is that? Dang, John, that's hard, bro. I could hear that in a montage. That would be like good for like montage scenes. scene openers. That's really good for anything that has like an urban feel. So if they're like showing like, New York City or something like that, or anything that's urban, like Chicago or something that has a dope feel to it. This will fit in like Ball is Life, like the hoop tape mixtapes, and a different like a whole like San Andreas, like everything, bro. That beat is fire. That bass is clean, and then when you added that synth, had like a crazy. Was that OP1? Yeah, that synth was crazy. Track is hard, John. Shout out to the homie John. We out here in the UK. You know what I'm saying, bro? Let's get it out here. The Scoot next. This was been trying to follow your lead. This is what I have so far. What do you think? Okay. Scoot, aka Beats by Legend, who on here was on SoundClick back in the day, back when like Vibe Beats, Superstar O was on there, John Luciano, like who was on here, because this has like that perfect SoundClick anthem type of vibe. The homie Cruz said this has like Dipset vibes. This could be, yeah. See, Mr. Cruz said it perfect. That show All American, like anything that's like you said it perfectly in the title. It says put in work or put the work in. This will fit in those type of vibes. I want this mix a little bit cleaner though, but it's hard because these type of anthem beats are very hard to mix because they're so big. There's so many different things going on to make it like a big like anthem type of track. So it's hard to mix these clean, but clean up that mix a little bit and then double down on this sound. Make 9 more tracks like this. Submit them in for TV shows like All American. Anything that's like football. What's that show called when they're following them when they're like in college and stuff like that. I can't remember, but like All Access, anything like Showtime Boxing, put this in those type of shows. They get placed all the time. I think that just the mix needs to be cleaned up, and that's really gonna help you out. But this is a dope vibe, really big track, like those anthem track. What's up, Quinn? What's good, Powerpuff Girls? What the fuck? I remember their beats on LimeWire and YouTube. They had their beats on LimeWire? Damn. Vibe Beats is dope, man. He's still dope. I still listen to him. Next up, we got the homie Chucho again. This is a Rage Playboy Cardi type beat. Chucho, I think this is dope, but I think that lead needs to be like a little bit higher quality lead. And I think something that would add to it is like a lead that's from Massive X. There's a Massive X bank called Rush that's really good that I think would be good for this. Or Anna X or Anna Synth, which is made by Slate or Sony Academy, which is under Slate Digital, has a really good synth VST that would be good for this. I use Serum a little bit, and I think Serum could work too, depending on the pack that you find. But Massive X has really good Rage, Playboy Cardi type of sounds that I think will work really well. They have like those nice like high quality sounds. So those are the sounds that I would switch out with it. Otherwise, like this is a dope beat. It's a good Rage beat. I think I would just switch up the sounds a little bit to sound like a little bit more high quality to just compete with that Mr. H type of feel. Yeah, I have Massive X Opera Column. I did some banks for Native Instruments, and they sent me it for free. I did the Haze. If you listen to the Haze preset bank that came out, the preview track I produced. I think it's like one of their newer ones that just came out. But yeah, I love Massive X a lot. Mr. Cruz said that would fit in a Real Housewives show when they're out in town. Let me hear. I think it's too hard for them. Unless you're like doing like Real Housewives of Dallas or Real Housewives of like Atlanta, that would fit for there. But the other ones, that might be too hard. That beat's hard though. Oh, nice. Yeah, they got dope packs. Yeah, it's cool. They took forever to pay though, man. This dude Phoenix said, "I'm a placement type beat producer, but I've recently been looking into sync placements and TV stuff. Let me know what you think of these." That is a shout out. They do that Opera Column. I've seen them do that with other sounds and other producers too as well. My homie works for them. This is hard. All right, Phoenix, since you have 3, I'm going to go through them really fast. This one's a really good one for underscore. It has like a very slight drama, but this is really good for underscore. This will get placed a lot because there's a lot of room for dialogue here. Really nice spacing here, really clean mix as well. The bass and the 808 hits really hard. Nice sound selection. Everything's good about that one. I think that would work for placement. I would just shorten the intro, right? How long was the intro? Just for placements, I would cut the intro shorter. So by 8 seconds, the beat should already be dropping. Yeah, this beat's hard. I like that beat a lot. Next up, we got another Phoenix one. Damn. Synth is crazy. Crypto. This is Phoenix. That mix is so damn clean. That's hard too. That would fit as like a drama track, or that would fit like good for NBA placements as well, or any sport placements like football, that too as well. Showtime, those type of shows. If you have tracks like this, Phoenix, that you've been sending out that haven't been getting traction, put some of them to the side, cut the intros in half to make them short, add a sting to the end of it. It starts submitting for TV placements. Like you're gonna get a good opportunity, especially if you're a placement producer. There's nothing wrong with doing both. There's producers that I know who are doing both. One of the producers that I worked with at Signature Tracks, he still composes for them. I still compose for them as well, but I worked with him and like would just do the back end work for him. His name is Mark Cragen. He co-produced AO, Loyal by Chris Brown, a whole bunch of other ones like Sean Kingston, Pia Mia. He was producing for all of them, and on the side he was doing this too as well, and he still does this. And he stopped producing for artists and mainly focused on this. I'm not saying that you need to do that, because I think doing both is hard. It's dope, and I think every producer should be able to, you know, fluctuate between both, or even just being a type beat producer and doing this. But if you have tracks that you submitted to artists and stuff like that, and you're not seeing any traction for them, definitely put some to the side. Like this, make an album with like 10 tracks, submit them for placements, because these will get placed easily. XCLO said that ARP was off. I gotta listen to that back. I didn't hear that. Phoenix, this is dope. It has like that Sway Lee Unforgettable type of vibe. I feel like that would fit too as well. These will work really well for Underscore as well. Stuff like Housewives, Vanderpump Rules, anything that's like reality series will do really well. And those shows pay out a lot. So I think that like the Kardashians, stuff like that, this has that feel to it. Love It Hip Hop, T.I. and Tiny, Family Hustle, all those vibes. Like this has like a very evergreen type of vibe to it, where it would work well for a long time on many different shows. So that's a dope track as well. You got a dope style indeed, my friend. This dude Cruz Tripping said, hold up, y'all, that bass hit me so hard I gotta go change my boxes. Yeah, it has an island vibe for sure. All right, I think that's all the submissions from this week, which is perfect timing because I got to go pick up my daughter from school. I appreciate everybody who came through this week. I said that I would play a track at the end of the stream. So I'll go ahead and play the Massive X track that we talked about. Because I made another track. I made a few tracks this week, but they're mostly EDM for Project One Way. And I don't make EDM like that, so I'm not trying to play a lot of EDM tracks. If you want to hear the EDM one, I'll play it. Just let me know. But I'm going to play the Massive X. And yeah, Opera Column, I'd like to see that preset pack when you're done, bro. Massive X has been my go-to lately. I gotta find this track. Alright. This is it. This is on their site, like, as the promo. Basically, they sent me out their sound bank for Haze, and then I just made a beat using all the sounds. You hate Massive X, you're using the wrong sound banks. I got Massive X. I heard the sound banks at first. I'm like, yo, what is going on? But then I got the right ones. It's the sound banks you're using. It's so clean, bro. Welcome back, bro. We start at 10 a.m. on Fridays. 10 a.m. Pacific time. All right, that's the Massive X one, then I'll just play the EDM one. I don't really make EDM, but I like progressive house. This is supposed to be like an underscore track for Project One Way, based off their references that they sent. I got you, Upper Column. I'll play EDM. Switch it up. Made like 4 tracks, I think, 4 tracks in the style of the references for that one for Project One Way. But all right, everybody, that's it. What's up, Mac, aka the Wolf, Melvin or Macavis? Oh shit, you didn't hear that, Melvin or Mac? You didn't hear that? Mac is the homie who, my brother basically, who was the first one to like really rap over my beats, and I was sending out beats with like 32 bar verses, bro, like 32 bar verses, 32 bar hooks, and somehow he stuck with me, and it was crazy, man. We would always be in the studio together all the time, every day in the studio, just working on music, making albums. We have like 4 projects together at least. Over here using the government name. All right, guys, I gotta head off here. I gotta go pick up the daughter. Appreciate everybody who came through the stream again this week. We'll be back next Friday Pacific time, 10 a.m. Pacific. This is the only time I'm going to say this again. Last week I said this would be the last day that the 40% off discount code, Discord code that's in the screen that you see for the course. This is the last week. It's going to be 40% next week, and from here on out it will be 20%. So at the end of the day, starting at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time, it will change over to the 20%. So I appreciate everybody who's been getting the course so far. We got a lot of people who's been getting it and putting in the work, and I'm glad to see people start creating opportunities for themselves. My goal is to see 100 different producers land their first placement, so let's get to it. And yeah, appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.